Good afternoon, everybody. I don't normally do two podcasts in a row. I did one yesterday in Farsi. I'm going to do one in English today because yesterday I had someone who is an Iranian activist and a few other Iranians who are speaking up for their country, and I was introducing them to Twitter, and the post that I made, which was about trying to promote them, ended up getting so much hatred, so much bile, and so much abuse, calling the person everything under the sun. I'm not going to repeat them because I don't want to. And I just wanted to say, like, I don't like doing things that upset people, and I think I've upset that person by putting them in the crossfire. And it's not something that I was expecting to see. But it just goes to show the level of Israeli hate for anyone that's got a platform. The amount of abuse I've received as well for promoting and trying to, speak my mind. Same as everyone else in this country. I live in England. I've got a right to say what I want to say. It's protected under the law. But these guys are all about raping, are all about killing, all about knifing, and all about, the threats that I've had given to me, the number of times I've actually tagged the Metropolitan Police in a tweet for the violence that they have promised me is beyond the pale. And I want people to understand, these are bots. Elon Musk could do something about these accounts, but he chooses not to. These bots are being weaponized. They were weaponized when we had the FAFO, the Fuck Around and Find Out organization called NAFO on behalf of Ukraine. Then it went to overdrive when 7th of October started and became pure Israeli propaganda to escape the realities of the genocide they were committing. Getting into people's comments, messages, and trying to argue with people about how Israel has the right to do X, Y, and Z. No one has the right to commit suicide. Israel has, genocide. And these fuckers are sitting there trying to explain away using something called Hasbara. Some of you may know what that word means. Some of them may not know. So I'm going to tell you. Hasbara means to explain. Hasbara is the Israeli way of trying to explain their point of view, their opinion, and to try and explain away the violence that they inflict on people around the world, I'm going to say, because it is around the world. And today's podcast is actually about Israel and about how they are a malignant force for evil, demons and devils. And if they are not the satanic cult of the planet Earth, I don't know who else could possibly be for all of the things that they do. I'm going to be going through a list of things which the CIA calls conspiracy theories, but the reality is somewhere in these conspiracy theories is the truth that Israel is behind it. And you've got to bear in mind, conspiracy theories, the word conspiracy theories was created and invented by the CIA to belittle anyone that were using any form of critical thinking, any form of, questioning the narrative that's being put into place. And that's why they had Operation Condor, whatever the fuck it was called, or Mockingbird, Operation Mockingbird, where the CIA installed its own journalists. And they're not journalists. They are people that work for the CIA that sit there and tell lies on their behalf, and they get paid handsomely. And that's what journalism has become. It's become a craft where you just spew out whatever the deep state, the establishment, call it what you will, the matrix wants you to say, and you will get away with it, and you'll be allowed to continue having a salary, paying off your mortgage, and making sure that you pass on the stuff that they want to keep things the way they want it to happen. That's what the CIA does, and that's a conspiracy theory. So I'm just going to go through a few conspiracy theories, and this is me doubling down to those wonderful people that were in my comments that thought they could intimidate me, scare me, or make me, question what I'm going to do. Here's my answer to you, okay? Fuck you and all of your intimidations. all your threats of violence, all your shit, standing up for humanity is a blessing that I'm able to do, and I articulate myself in such a way that I give happiness, joy, and courage to other people to say the same. So this video is all about holding to account who I think are the satanic worshipping people of the planet Earth, which are the Israelis, not all Israelis, the Israelis who are in the government of Israel, and the people who control America, who control Europe, who control Germany, France, and whatever else. These are the people who are, as far as I'm concerned, they are anti-human. They do not want to see peace in the world. All they want to see is violence on anyone and everyone that does not bow to them. This is Israel, people. This is Israel that controls the mainstream media, that has bought out CBS and put a 26-year-old fucking idiot called Barry Weiss to become the editor of X, Y, and Z. She had a nothing company which she was able to sell to someone for a shitload of money, and then that's her excuse for being able to buy out CBS. This is Larry Ellison. Larry Ellison is the biggest sponsor, private sponsor of the IDF, and he's the one that gives them more money than anybody else in the world. His son is now buying Paramount Studios, I don't know what studios. All of this is to take over the brainwashing power for Israel. There is nothing that is normal about TikTok anymore. TikTok used to be a place where you can go to and find content from your average Joe. But every single person's account that I know of who was part of the cause that was fighting against the genocide, they've disappeared off TikTok. TikTok is no longer what it was. Guess what happened to TikTok? It got Israeled. It got bought by Larry Ellison by force. You know, the land of the free? The land of the free was, you cannot have this open anymore. We as the American government are forcing TikTok to be sold to an American company because China's having a really bad influence on us. Instead, Chinese influence is not allowed to happen, but Israeli influence must be applied to people. People must love Israel. And so TikTok has become a place where, I mean, the content on there is not pro-Israeli, but it's no longer pro-Palestinian. So what they've done is they've stopped people from being able to express their anger, their fuming. There are people who are trying their best and on their third account or fourth account, like Eric Warsaw. I'm on my second account as well. Rathbone is on his fourth account. So many people who are on TikTok who are having to change the way they do things. So they put videos up of themselves dancing, and then they put the writing of what the issue is, so you can see what it is, because the algorithm doesn't pick it up as well. There are ways that people are doing it. The important thing is that TikTok anyway has destroyed the ability of the people of the world who were using TikTok as a form of being able to get their anger out, letting people know how they feel about what's happening in the world, is no longer that. And this is because of Israel. So this is a conspiracy theory. Obviously, you know, I'm lying here, because why would TikTok get taken over by Larry Ellison for that to happen? They want to have control over every narrative pathway that exists on the planet Earth. That's how Israel thinks it's going to get away with it. Reality is, you can't stop people from hating you while you commit a genocide, while you've killed, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of people. No one's going to love you. You go anywhere in the world, there's signs saying Israelis are not welcome. Whether it's Thailand, Italy, Greece, Cyprus, you're not welcome. And the reason you're not welcome is because you've committed a genocide, and you think everyone should actually applaud you and clap you on your back and say Israel has the right to defend itself. Israel does not have the right to defend itself by murdering children. You don't need to put a bullet in the head of a kid. You don't need to put a bullet in a woman. You don't need to kill pregnant women and old people and everyone else. That's what Israel does. I want to go through the list of things that Israel has done that are conspiracy theories, according to them and the deep state, and makes me look like I'm some kind of nut job. The fact that Hollywood is owned by Israelis, by Jewish supremacists who sit there and create content that is just pure propaganda to ready the mind for the destruction of Arabs, to ready the mind for the destruction of Muslims, to build a level of hate for them. Did you know that the program 24 that came out in 2000 and something was to ready the people for enhanced interrogation, they call it. It's called torture. But what they did was, in a scene in 24, they showed that the guy used, what's it called? Threatened the guy with his life and tortured him, and they got the details they needed to stop a nuclear weapon going off. What this does is it makes people turn around and say, actually, you know what? 24 is a really popular TV program, and I remember seeing that this guy got tortured, and when he got tortured, he gave the information, and that information saved a nuclear weapon from hitting San Francisco, Los Angeles, or whatever else. Torture, as reported by John Kiriakou to the world that was taking place, was normalized by Hollywood, by programs like 24. Torture is not normal, and torture does not give you results. The people will tell you whatever you want to hear because they don't want to be tortured. What they did in Iraq, in Abu Ghraib, this is not normal human behavior. Torture does not get you anywhere, but yet Hollywood normalized it for us. So I want you to understand, they are part of the problem because they're changing the way people look at things in life. So this is the Israeli way. This is Israel's way of, making Jewish people the heroes of the universe and Muslims as the enemies of humanity. When was the last time you saw a film where the Muslim guy was the hero of the film? When? Hardly ever. And it's almost always centered around a Jewish way of life and a Jewish this is good and the Jewish people saved us. I don't know if you saw the film Independence. The guy who saves the planet Earth is a Jewish rabbi who turns around and says to his son David something about I've got a cold, and it gives the virus, and the David goes, right, we got to get a computer virus up into space and we will save the planet Earth. Who did it? David the scientist, the Jewish scientist. Why don't they have the Muslim scientists do that? Why don't they have the Christian scientists do that? Why has it always got to be a Jewish guy? They're trying to basically formulate something to make them a protected class. Why is it we've got anti-Semitism rules all over America, but we don't have anti-American rules? How is it you're able to say whatever you want about American politicians, but you're not allowed to say fuck all about Israel? Think about that. Why are they a protected group? Why is everyone else on the planet Earth can be called evil cunts? The only people that can't be are Israelis. And the day you do, you get accused of being anti-Semitic. You then have a whole raft of laws that have been put in place to protect the identity of Jewish people. Think about that. And the best part is this. My friend Moses, Voices of Rabbis, an account with 280 odd thousand people, follows about 300 people, but he follows me. Why do the Jewish groups follow me? Because I don't have a problem with Jewish people. I have a problem with Israeli people. Guess who they have a problem with? Israelis. Guess who's sitting there in the comments of every Benjamin Netanyahu tweet saying you don't speak for Jews. You're not the leader of Judaism. Judaism is a religious thing. Israel is a Nazi state. It's a fascist state. It's an apartheid state. It believes in superiority of one race over another. And the best part is it's not even one race. They're made up of Ukrainians, Poles, Germans, Russians, of all sorts of different people from different genetic backgrounds who've converted to Judaism over the last 2,000 odd years, and they are now calling themselves the race of Jews. You're not. You've converted to Judaism, and the people who are actual religious Jews hate you. They hate you because of the anti-Semitism that you've brought to bear on them, on Jewish people. And the Hasidic Orthodox Jews are the easiest people on the planet Earth to pick out in a crowd and to be abused by people who don't know any better. And Israel does that. So many things that Israel does, like it basically manipulates US foreign policy to go to war on behalf of Israel, for the United States to destroy Israel's enemies. Did you know the single biggest enemy of Israel was Iraq at one stage? Did you know that Israel had missiles fired at it from Iraq, Scud missiles, during the war? During the Iraq war with the United States coming in to liberate Kuwait, which was another American thing of, you can go and take Kuwait. It's not our business to do that. You know, that's what they said to the Iraqis. So they can go and do what they want, which is occupy Saudi Arabia. Anyway, that's a different subject matter. I'm going to talk about Israel. The point is, almost every single place that's been destroyed, and a list of 7 things that General Wesley Clark told us about, that's one of the Pentagon people turned around and said to him, these 7 nations, which is like Sudan, Libya, Iran, Iraq, and whatever else, all of them have gone. The only country left is Iran. And Iran is the country of my blood. I'm Iranian by blood. I was born in Qatar, and I've been brought up as an Englishman, as you can tell by my silly accent. Israel has asked for more money than God to be given to them. They've got more money from America than anybody else, and all of it because they want to dominate an area. They've bought the UAE out. Jeffrey Epstein was involved with one of the members of the royal family, and he's the one that created the Abraham Accords. Israel's hand is in almost every single disgusting pie you can think of. People don't understand that 9/11, people turn around and say it was a bunch of Muslims and Islamics that did it. Muslims, Islamics. It's bullshit. Why is it that we had 5 Israelis dancing at the Twin Towers from across the thing, taking videos and pictures of them? Why were they having such a good time with that? How did they know that was going to happen? So 9/11 is something that could have been prevented, because if these guys know that they should be standing there taking videos and pictures of the towers going down, then they could have turned around and said to people, by the way, we think there's going to be a major incident there. You need to empty the building so we don't have 3,500 people killed. But they didn't. They were Israeli spies. It's something that they could have done to stop 9/11 being as bad as it was. They chose not to. The USS Liberty is a ship that belonged to the United States Navy. This ship was attacked by Israelis. Why did they attack and kill 34, Navy people? Why did Israel do that? Why is it that they're allowed to murder American sailors and then have President Johnson turn around and say, I don't want to fall out with Israel. I don't want to call into account Israel. You know why? Because he saw JFK get killed by Israelis. He understands that Israel murdered JFK. He knows what side his bread is buttered on, and he is shit scared of what could happen to him if he went and turned around and said, why did you attack this Navy ship? The Israelis attacked the USS Liberty. They threatened Lyndon Johnson to they killed JFK. When you see Hollywood creating films about how the lone gunman, the this, but the only the mafia did it, the Cubans did it, someone's mum and auntie in fucking Dogsville, USA did it, but none of it ever points to Israel doing it. That's again where Hollywood comes into the case, where they create a narrative and we're supposed to believe that. Who was the person that supplied the production costs for Oliver Stone's film? An Israeli. Israel killed JFK. It's as simple as that. You can either accept that or not accept that, but that is the reality of what happened there. They create these false flags, they create organizations, they create things like ISIS to cause bloodbaths in Iraq. But you know what ISIS, which is the Islamic Front of whatever the hell it is called, which country has it never ever attacked? Israel. And the one time that it did attack Israel at the Golan Heights, they sent an apology to Israel. They like to drink the blood of Muslims. They like to drink the blood of Shia. All sorts of things that ISIS does. But the one thing that this Islamic terrorist group will not do is attack Israel. Why is that? Could it be that this organization was help created by the CIA and Mossad, and it is being used as a tool to destabilize Iraq, to destabilize Syria, to cause chaos and mayhem everywhere? And who's at the bottom of it all? Who funded it? Whose purpose does it serve for this organization to exist and do the things that it has done? All of it is in the end on behalf of Israel. Why is it that Israel is able to get away with harvesting the organs of Palestinians? Why is it that their organs are prisoners are emptied and bodies are returned without the heart, without the lungs, without the livers, without the kidneys? Why is it that Israel gets away with that? Can anyone tell me why we have to sit there and say they can do that? Why is it the skin of Palestinians is taken? This is what Israel does, and yet they get away with it. They are at the moment in Argentina setting fire to the forests. A new law has come in that allows for forest fires, if they take place, for that land to be sold. Now, before you couldn't sell it for decades. Now a new law came in with this Jewish President Milei, who's got the same family name as Mr. Milikowski, Benjamin Netanyahu. They may even be long-distance cousins, but exactly the same Polish name they've both got. And now the law has changed in Argentina so that Patagonian forests, when they get set fire, can be sold to investors. And those investors are Israelis. Why is Israel allowed to go to another country like that and have its IDF soldiers set fire to places and get away with it? And I'm going to come now because I have to end this quite quickly now. I want people to understand about the Iranian mission of Israel right now. Ladies and gentlemen, if you go to any Iranian royalist Pahlavi event, you'll find more Israeli flags than you will actual Pahlavi flags. Why do you think that is? Why do you think there's more Israeli flags than there are Pahlavi flags? Be in no doubt whatsoever, this whole project, this royal family from Reza Pahlavi's family and whatever else, is nothing but an Israeli operation. And to those idiots who think that these guys are here to help save Iran, to transition it from what it is right now to something else, the only place you're going to go to is hell. The only place that you will end up in, if they get their way, is Libya, where the country is divided into two parts and they're all killing each other. That is the future of Iran if this royal family, this Israeli people, win this battle in our hearts and minds. That is the reality that you as Iranians have to accept and shoulder as a responsibility. Are you willing to give up your nation state to become the bitch of Israel policy? They've done it to Iraq, they've done it to Afghanistan, they've done it to Lebanon, they've done it to Syria, they've done it to the Palestinians, they've done it to Libya. I don't know if I said that already or not, but these guys just hate us. Sudan has been divided into two and they got people killing each other. Somaliland is divided in Somalia, it's divided into two. It's all about divide and conquer with these fuckers. So all I say to you all is, to all these Israeli Pahlavis, go fuck yourselves. You don't scare me. And what I say to Iranians is, have the courage to fucking get involved with this conversation and don't let these idiots with 1 or 2 accounts, follower accounts on Twitter or on Instagram get you worried. These people are sitting in Israel, or are in fact, some of them are here in Europe, and they are playing mind games of swearing at you. That I'm going to do this to your mum, I'm going to rape this, your mum's this, your mum. Ignore it. We live in a free society, and if these people choose to come to your house and do something, the law will protect us. That's why we live in a state where the police are responsible for my health and everyone else's. And if they want to do that, let them fucking do that. To me, I wouldn't fucking give a fuck. Do not be frightened by bots. Stand up for what you know is right. And make sure you get involved, because the price here is Israeli domination in Iran, Israeli domination in Lebanon, in Iraq, in Yemen, in Libya, in Sudan, through their proxies, the Emiratis. Don't let them win, and don't be frightened by these fucking bot accounts. These Israeli bot accounts that used to be Ukrainian bot accounts. They're all CIA accounts. The majority of humanity is with us. These bot accounts make up 50% of the internet right now. But you know what? They're not 50% of the internet. They're the 50% of the accounts of the internet. The amount of people controlling them is not 50% of the planet. We are the majority of the planet by about 98% to about 1%, 2%. They just have technology that allows them to push out through 50 accounts or 100 accounts by the press of a button, whereas we have to sit here and do it one at a time through our accounts. Do it. Get involved, and do not let them frighten you or scare you or make you feel like, oh, I don't want to get involved. Fuck Israel. Fuck their bots. Fuck their propaganda. Fuck their Hollywood. Fuck their leadership. Fuck every American, English and German and French politician that sucks their dick as well. Fuck them all. Have a good day.